to choose just one car to live with for the rest of my life, then once I'm done with my supercar fantasies of Ferraris and Lamborghinis, my choice would be the Land Rover Freelander. Good looking, highly capable, very practical and just the right size for India. Unfortunately, the Freelander is no more. But I'm not sad because its replacement is here, the new Land Rover Discovery Sport. So does the new Discovery Sport have what it takes to take over the mantle from the Freelander? Well, that's what we are here to find out.
From the outside, the Discovery Sport may just remind you of the Evoque, considering it's based on the same platform. But take a look at the details: the curvier bonnet, redesigned headlamps with the round daytime running lights, the unique C-pillar design, and those gorgeous tail lamps. Details that make this car turn heads wherever you go. In terms of size, it is longer than the Evoque by 80mm, but still shorter than its current rivals in the segment.
As soon as you get inside the Discovery Sport, you realize that it's a marked improvement over the Freelander in terms of interiors. You got lovely beige leather all around, these metal inserts on the center console, as well as this lovely soft touch plastic on the dashboard. It just feels very nice. Then you've also got this lovely leather wrapped steering wheel with metal inserts and lots of buttons for the menus as well as for the cruise control. You also get this 8-inch touchscreen in the center console with Land Rover's in-control UI with 4 different quadrants. It lets you control your media, your phone, your climate control, navigation, pretty much the works from the screen. Now you also get some things that are quite familiar, like this rotary gear selector that you have down here. This is pretty much standard across all new JLR cars these days. Then you have that center console, which is quite reminiscent from the new Range Rover Evoque, and the power window switches on the windowsills. That's a typical Land Rover touch. And speaking about the driver's seat, well, it's very comfortable. It's got good bolstering on either side, and also it's electrically adjustable. It's just a very nice cabin to be in. But before we get in the back seat, I think it's time to get this show on the road. Now the Discovery Sport that I'm driving is the one with the TD4 engine, the one with 150 PS of power. And initial impressions are not bad. It's quite a smooth and refined motor with a good throttle response. I think that's also partly down to the gearbox, that lovely 9-speed ZF automatic unit. Now it's not the fastest gearbox in the world, but then again, in a car like this, you don't really need lightning quick shifts. And if you do want to change gears manually, you can do it with the paddles on the steering wheel. In the handling department, the Discovery gets independent suspension all around. So of course it won't go around corners like a sports car, but the handling is quite predictable. There is some body roll, but it's very well controlled. And even though the car gets an electric power steering, it feels very well weighted, just what you need in a car like this. Now when it comes to ride quality, I think things have gone a little bit downhill as compared to the older Freelander. Now don't get me wrong, the Discovery Sport is quite well sprung, but it is on the stiffer side. You can pretty much feel everything on the road. I think it was designed more for Europe than it was for India, and the older Freelander just was a lot more supple in this regard. However, the top-end HSE luxury model does get adaptive suspension, so that might feel a little bit different than this. That model is also the only one that comes with the 190 PS SD4 engine, which sounds like a lot of fun. I really can't wait to get my hands on that one. But it's when the road ends that the fun really begins. Now the Discovery Sport has been set up fairly well for a bit of off-roading fun. Firstly, you've got a good 212 millimeters of ground clearance. Then you've got a permanent 4-wheel drive system with an automatically locking center differential which can split the torque between the front and rear axles by itself. And then you have Land Rover's famous terrain response system. All you have to do is tell the car what sort of surface you're driving on with the push of a button on the dashboard. So whether you're driving on grass, gravel, snow, mud ruts, or even sand, once you tell the car that, it'll adjust throttle response, it'll adjust torque split, it'll even adjust your gearbox settings for that to handle it automatically. And then the car also has hill descent control, which makes going down steep hills an absolute breeze. And if you decide to go through a stream, the Discovery Sport can wade through 600 millimeters of water. That's 2 feet of water. Not bad at all. However, what the Discovery doesn't get is a low range setting. But Land Rover has made up for that with an ultra low ratio first gear, which helps you crawl out of the most difficult situations. Now, most people who are going to buy this car in India are going to enjoy it from the back seat. And let me tell you, it's not a bad place to be in at all. It's very comfortable out here, and look at the legroom I've got. I've got the front seat adjusted to my driving position, which is quite far back, and still I've got a huge amount of knee room. Plus you've got these aircon vents in the B pillars. That's a nice touch as well. And would you look at the size of that sunroof? Brilliant, isn't it? Now technically, the Discovery Sport is built as a 7-seater, the only one in its class. So you do get an extra row of seats at the back and a variety of options to fold them down in to maximize space inside the cabin. But let me show you the problem with that. Now, even though I've got the middle row pushed as far ahead as possible, these back seats are a bit of a joke. I mean, they could fit small kids, yes, but adults, I don't think so. And they come at a price, which means if you get these seats, you do lose out on the spare wheel in the boot. The spare wheel goes underneath the car and it becomes a space saver. Now, is it worth it? I personally don't think so.
Features-wise, the Discovery Sport is quite loaded. However, most of the equipment like adjustable dampers, adaptive xenon lights, Meridian audio system, rear seat entertainment package is only available on the top variant. The entry-level S only gets a few features and comes with manually adjustable fabric seats and halogen lights. All variants offer standard safety features including driver, passenger and curtain airbags.
Well, that about wraps up our day with the Discovery Sport. And as I've said before, it's a very likable car. In a sea of Germans in this segment, such as the Audi Q5 and the BMW X3, the Discovery Sport is a breath of fresh air. British engineering, British design is just such a good car. I think it takes up the mantle very well from its predecessor, the Freelander 2. And the best part is, the car has been assembled here in India, so the pricing is fairly bang on. Starts at 46 lakhs ex-showroom Mumbai, goes up to 62 lakhs ex-showroom Mumbai for the top-end model. But whether that's enough for the Discovery to kick the Germans in their teeth, well, that remains to be seen. But as for me, I've had a really long day and it's time to get some R&R.